Okay, guys, welcome to your Thursday night team call. It's August 6th. We have two really special guests tonight that I'm going to introduce in a minute. But first, I just want to, first, of course, go over recognition because it was a really awesome week. We had 3 new Emerald and 2 new Ruby coaches in just this week. And then just talk about a couple up-and-coming things. And then I will introduce our guest speakers who I'm really excited to have talk to you. Okay, so new Emeralds for this week. Justin, don't kill me, Koenig, is that right? Emerald coach. Kristen Evans is a new Emerald coach. Trisha Bauer is a new Emerald coach. Ben Foreman, who Lorene obviously works, so she is getting close to popping another Diamond coach. He is a Ruby coach. And Jessica Nunez, Ruby coach. This close, guys, this close. Next step, and you know Ruby is that rank that we often skip because the hardest part is finding the builders. And so when you do that first, it's actually a really good thing. Okay. So, sneak peek. I know it feels like we just had one. We did, because our weeks are off because we went to Summit. But we're having one again, still a little bit off schedule, so we'll try to get back in a routine. But it's going to be the 17th because I wanted to leave enough leeway. It's going to be the 17th. Jennifer Allo is running it for us. There is a sign-up sheet. If anyone's unclear about how it works, really quick, it's a 5-day group. It's a private Facebook page. And if you're on Periscope and you want a spot, just let someone know. If you know a coach from Wild Impact, tell them you want a spot. So basically all they have to do is check the page once or twice a day. No other obligation except a super short 3-question questionnaire, which is in the file section, okay? You just make sure they filled it out. Again, it literally is 3 very quick questions, takes them under 2 minutes, and then you add them to the page. We had, oh my God, like 80 prospects last week. I know I signed a coach from it, and I had 2 other people that I'm still following up with and working with. So I've had tremendous success. One thing I want to note, because it's just an ongoing observation I'm seeing, when coaches use it, coaches use it. So in other words, when I see a coach put a prospect in, they're usually putting 5 or 6. So what's happening is there's a few coaches putting a lot of prospects in it. Not a lot of coaches putting either a lot or a few. If you're not using Sneak Peek, you're missing out. So talk to someone, talk to me or your upline about why you're not using it. Maybe you don't know what exactly it is. Maybe you don't know how to invite to it. So let's just fix that now and challenge yourself, every single person on this call, to have a minimum of 1 person in that Sneak Peek, which means they've said yes and filled out the questionnaire. Okay, the webinar, we're going to do a live webinar, Kelly Keeley and I, the last Wednesday of the month. The last Thursday of the month, I have a personal obligation for my daughter that I cannot miss. So this month only, it will be the last Wednesday of the month. The Team Cup, you guys are rocking it. Make sure on Friday when we get our emails, you post your emails with how you guys are doing. Even if it's not amazing, it's okay. The whole point is to motivate each other. And if you're in that page, there's 150 of you in that page, make sure you guys are checking in. We all need each other, okay? So even if you're still at Success Club 0, it is very early. Don't worry about it. You just keep inviting 5 every single day. And there's a call of action in there from this morning. So I'm assuming just because it's been a crazy day and you're on this team call, you haven't gotten to it yet. So I think it's 10 people before bed, a really quick personal invite to the Sneak Peek. Okay, I'm going to introduce, I guess I'll stay on this, right? I don't even know if anyone's watching us, whatever. Who cares? Okay, so I want to introduce Tina and Joe Gonzalez. So let's start with Glamma wife. So Tina is a wife, Glamma wife, mom, 6-star Diamond elite, two-time elite coach. She has 1 star. She's 1 star in her 2nd business center. Success Club legend, and we know that means hitting Success Club at least 24 months in a row. What? Has 1,274 coaches in her downline. And just so you guys know, Joe and Tina are one of only 3 or 4 couples who each earned elite this year. So they both earned it. They're only one of 3 or 4 couples that have been able to do that. That's incredibly impressive. Because a lot of times when you work your spouse's business or you have 2, they usually one takes a back seat and they build the other one. Basically, they both build. So Very impressive. Okay, Joe. Joined in 2011. He's a 5-star diamond, 1-star diamond in his second business center, SC10 All-Star, and an SC5 Legend. SC10 meaning for 12 months in a row, and SC5 at least 24 months in a row. That's what that means. What? Elite. He was elite this year. We got to hang out at all the elite stuff. He started working full-time, okay? He started working this business when he had a full-time job, and he just recently retired from a 6-figure income. Can you imagine walking away from a job that paid you over $100,000? Bye, I don't need you anymore. See ya. That's, yeah. And that was in the banking, commercial, mortgage broker career. So they're gonna talk with you a little bit about their story and how they really lead with the business. So guys, there's 72 on this call. Okay, I'm happy with that, but
nice.
not thrilled, and it's still early. So guys, thank you so much for working with me and getting on this call with no notice. I really appreciate that.
Our pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shane. We really do appreciate it, and it's our honor to be on this call. We met Shane at the last couple of events, actually, as she said, and I struck up a conversation with Shane in the pool. Greg Plaskett is a really good friend of mine, and he was telling me so much about Shane and how amazing she is. So the fact is, I started talking to her, and I saw that, and I just want to, again, let you know, Shane really is a rock star in our entire business of 340,000 coaches now. And not all of those 340,000 coaches have this opportunity that you all have with Shane as your upline or your personally sponsored coach. And I can tell you that a lot of people would love to be in your position because, she really is dedicated to this business and her team's success. And I know her heart and her commitment to get to the level she is astounding. And that's all about her heart of helping all of you. So, I definitely appreciate this. We love Shane. We appreciate this. So let's get into a little bit about our story. And I'm going to start first just because I was the first one to enter the business, and I sponsored Tina. I'm 46 years old. I am not your prototypical, I guess, Beachbody coach, if you think that there is one. And I started this business in 2011, as Shane said, because I was tired and frustrated. In 2008, I was, 40 years old, working my 20th year or so, 18th year, I guess, as a senior vice president at a major bank, making incredible income, well into 6 figures, didn't have a 1 in front of it. And we went through the banking crisis and the housing crisis, and I was the #1 producer in my job, and I was due a multi-6-figure bonus. And I got that bonus cut because the bank decided to not pay people because of the banking crisis. At the same time, we also lost our 401k money because of the crisis, the Wall Street crashed. I lost all my stock options, which was worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I had a huge swing of my personal income and net worth in about a 2-month period that was devastating. I felt like I lost my manhood all those years of working. And I went home to my wife that day, and I kind of dropped to my knees, I'm practically crying, and I said, I'm selling this house, I'm selling the motorcycles, and I'm selling the car, and I'm never working for somebody else again. And Tina grabbed me, held me, and said, you know what, I'll follow you anywhere, but why are we living in Ohio in the wintertime? You better get me someplace warm in the winter if we're selling this house on the lake, because we had a house on Lake Erie, and that, if you don't know Cleveland, that's like the ocean for us. So I said, I don't know how it'll happen, but I'll make that happen. Well, a couple months before, I had written down my life goals, and I said I wanted to be happy and healthy with my wife. I wanted to weigh less than 170 pounds. Through this job stress period, I had gained like 20 pounds. I wanted to have $1 million in the bank in 5 years or less. So I wanted financial security. I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to help people, and I wanted to create something that people remember me by. I had written all those down, okay? And once you know it, this all manifested into me saying this happening with my job and me deciding to basically leave this job. We sold our house. We did all this stuff, downsized. I started over again. And about a year after I started over, I ended up finding, I decided I better lose this weight now. So I started P90X from a friend who got it off of eBay. And I got about 6 weeks into it. And was, you know, I put something on Facebook. I said, boy, if you can make it through P90X without modifying it, I do not want to fight you. And with that, gang, that's all I said. My 23-year-old niece reached out to me and she said, Uncle Joe, if you're doing that, you might want to do this. And she introduced me to Beachbody. And at that time, I was working as a broker on my own, having my biggest year ever. I had so many reasons not to do this business. I was working 60 to 70 hours a week, making the most money outside of banking. So I had every reason not to do the business, but I wanted to help my niece. And her pitch was, well, if you buy Insanity, I'll make $30, okay?
Seriously.
So I wanted to help my niece. And she happened to get it in the hands of somebody who, as a banker, I saw the opportunity and I had just thought of this can accomplish all my life goals. And probably we now have 1,650 people in my downline. And at the time it was just me and Tina, we knew nothing, but I just saw this policy and procedures and I read it. I took it, I read it. And I saw that I could get free customers from Beachbody if I had 2 coaches, and I became Emerald myself. So nobody showed me anything, and I just yelled up from my basement office to Tina, and I said, hey, by the way, I'm signing you up as a coach, and you're going to drink this Shakeology because I want to get free customers from Beachbody. And
He didn't want me to drink his Shakeout.
yeah, I don't like to share my food even, so when we're at the restaurant. So I knew she had to have her own Shakeout to do this business. So I signed her up as a coach. She wanted nothing to do with the business, and I'll let her take it from there for a second.
Okay, so my story is entirely opposite of Joe's. I did not go to college. I grew up in poverty and abuse. I had to get out of my house in a hot hurry as an 18-year-old, so I went to secretarial college. I got a job as an office manager, secretary for many years, branched off from that, and prior to meeting Joe, I started my own little home-based resume writing business. There's no reason in the whole world that anyone would have ever invited me, probably, to be a Beachbody coach, because I would have told them how happy I was because I was helping people. I was working as a sole proprietor. And you know, you just take your own self wherever you are. So I'm happy no matter what I'm doing, because if I'm doing something, it's going to be fun. So I was working as a sole proprietor when Joe signed me up as a discount coach. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll drink that Shakeout for sure, because I was already drinking protein shakes. So why not get paid for it, right? But here's the pivotal thing for me is I was, in my mind's eye, happy and fulfilled. I was helping people, writing their resumes, doing interview coaching, and I was a sole proprietor, so I didn't have a boss. I was very free and independent. But there was a cap on what I could earn as a sole proprietor. So really on average in those, I don't know, what was it, 13 years or so, I was probably making about $30,000, which, you know, that's not bad. You're working from home, working part-time, but there was that cap. And for me, this opportunity, when it presented, and then I finally, with Joe's help, wrapped my arms around what it could do, it provided me, someone who never felt financially equal, in decision making, and that had nothing to do with him. That had to do with my personal feelings. Like I always wanted to have something that leveled the playing field. Like I felt like I could cross that 6-figure threshold and take some of the burden off of Joe's shoulders. Like when he had that crisis, it was all on his shoulders. I was like, oh, you know, I'm just writing these resumes and making a little bit of money. Everything was on his shoulders up until this point in time. And for me, going from where I was in that role, where I felt happy and fulfilled, to this, where I get to make a difference in the lives of people nationwide, grow in my own personal skills and grow in my own confidence, given where I come from, is just so massive for me. And knowing in my heart that I can open up my mouth, offer this opportunity to people, and make a difference in their lives to fill a void in either their nutrition, their fitness, the community. I swear to you guys, we have people on our team that show up once a year for a party. Once a year at Summit, we might not see them ever in the history of our team page, but they're going to show up at Summit for this party. So we have a community we can offer people. We have income we can offer people. We have fitness and nutrition. So much I can offer people through this opportunity. But like Shane alluded to, we lead with business. And for me, that has to do with growing up in poverty and abuse and seeing what those circumstances did to families. So I watched my mom feel confined and make decisions in her life that put us as children at risk. So that explains a little bit about why I am passionate about, because when I came into the business, I think you probably lead in this business however you come into it. So I didn't come into it saying I needed so much to lose weight. I came into it saying, wow, after he shared it with me, I could change women's lives. I can change women's economy and empower them and equip them with something that will transition and provide for their families and maybe take them out of risk. Because there's no one else that's going to pay this girl but Beachbody Days need to drink a shake. I can say that.
Well, and if you you don't know Tina, but prior to this, she honestly was not this confident leader that she is today 4 years later. The fact is, she has grown into this role as we get the responsibilities, more teammates and personal development, and continue reading leadership books and, John Maxwell, and figuring out how to, manage people and deal with people. And we went through some of this stuff ourselves. Tina's has that, she loves to empower women because of her background. And so that is why we lead the business. And I lead the business with the business because, I'm not a physical specimen. Can you see that? Oh, I got a long sleeve shirt, sorry. So I'm not a physical specimen or anything like that. And the fact is, though, I wanted to do something that was more fulfilling than just numbers at a bank, and money was something that I always made. But there's still, as Tina said, there was a void in my life, and that void was, what is something that's fulfilling and I can really do and create myself, and the challenge of doing that. So I do like that aspect of it. I knew that if I was going to risk my, future, I had to build a business, because why would I give up what I had, and affect my family that way? So I had to make this work. We didn't have any training, by the way. Our training to begin with, we didn't have challenge packs even when we started. We didn't have Coach Training Academy or anything like that. Here's how we got started. I was about 5-6 weeks into the business, and my niece had put me into our Swarm cave, which we're part of Tommy Migrant's downline. We're about 3 or 4 layers from Tommy. I don't even know how many, to be honest with you. But I just went into the cave, and I decided, okay, since my purpose here is to build a business, I should probably follow the person that is most successful. And so I started following Tommy Migrant. And Tommy had about 700 people on his team at the time. And I just went in there like a boss and just started asking questions. And people would answer me, but I just started engaging with the team. And it didn't matter that I didn't know anybody else. But I think Tommy noticed me. And then somebody got me started. My niece had shown me something and showed me her upline. And I just said, hey, don't worry, Mark, step aside. By the way, who's this Tommy Migrant? Give me his number. Or he said, I will give you Tommy Migrant's number because you remind me of Tommy. So I just texted Tommy and I said, hey, Tommy, I'm on your team. Just, I'm going to make things happen. So just let me know where things are or whatever. I said something. Well, Tommy posted about getting to events, and he talked about the Super Saturday. So 5-6 weeks into it, Super Saturday was coming up, and this was in Tommy and I actually happened to be nearby each other in hometowns, but we never knew each other. He's about 6 years younger than me, and Tina didn't really want to go, but I said, hey, there's something here. I got to go to this training event and learn about this, because this is where we learn about this business, and I want to build this business. So I got to the event, and like I always do, I asked questions, and I stood up, and Tommy made me stand up, and I didn't know Tommy either, but he was leading the event, and he said, what's your name? And I said, Joe Gonzalez. And he said, Joe Gonzalez is in the house. And he made me feel so special, because he didn't know me, but he knew me because I showed up in the team page and I was engaging. So he knew my name, and I showed up, and then we ended up going to his house afterwards. And I had to, by the way, the lesson here is I begged Tina to go to this event. She didn't want to go. I said, we got to go. And I begged her to go, literally begged. 2 weeks later, Tommy calls me and says, hey, there's a bunch of people going to this other, going off on this island in Lake Erie and, Northern Ohio area. And we're going to party for the weekend. And you're going to meet, Greg Bird, who was a Beachbody Challenge winner. You're going to meet June Warner, who was a Beachbody Challenge runner-up, and a couple others. And I had to ask Tina again to go off with strangers to an island for a weekend. This is like 2 months into the business. And literally, gang, I knew there was something for us. And I sat down at her office chair, and I, with tears streaming down my face, not going to lie, I begged her to go to this event with me. And I said, I really would like you to go with me. I would like us to go. Would you do this for me? And she said, fine, I'll do this, but if you're working all weekend, I'm going to be pissed. So we went to the event, or to the island for a weekend, and that's where we got our only training, to be honest with you. And that training was this. Tommy showed us how to wear a P90X shirt, wear and share, and start a conversation with people, and form family, occupation, recreation, and then our message. So, we were already blasting our friends with, all the rookie stuff that we do, vomiting all over everybody and ruining our initial 6 months into the business, only 2 months in. But we learned that weekend how to talk with people. And, it was funny. Tina loves to talk to people. So she wore a P90X shirt, and somebody said, you do P90X? And she hadn't touched P90X. But
I said, hell yeah, I do.
I'm the queen of P90X. And she would start a conversation with them. Where are you from? What makes you interested in it? Not, hey, join up under me, sign up, buy my stuff, all that kind of stuff, right? We did it professionally. And that's what we learned. And for the next 4 or 5 months, we just struggled in the business, limped along. It was 5 months before I made $100. And that year, as a commercial mortgage broker, I made several $100,000 on my own. And there was no reason for me to be doing this other than I had my wife and my sister-in-law as my 2 front coaches. And when I did that, I knew I made a commitment to people, and that's what I do is I want to make a commitment to people. And I said, I'm going to make this business successful. We're going to do this. And then we got introduced to challenge packs. Then Tommy had our 6 month in 4 weeks of 1 hour phone calls. And that was our only training in the business. And we just made it happen from there. We do lead with the business, as Shane said, and we learned stuff from Eric Worre GoPro. When we started going, actually, cute story, I guess. Tina was kicking my butt in the business, and when Challenge Packs came out, and I said, what the heck are you doing? And you take it.
Well, this just comes from, I didn't know crap, so I was just going to follow whoever was successful. So I was humble and coachable, and Tommy rolled out the steps, the 5-step invite process. And I wasn't leading with the business at the time. I was copying what Tommy was doing. And so I literally copied and pasted those steps, and my results just like doubled or tripled over a couple of month period. And Joe, we were in separate offices at the time at home. And he comes to me, he's like, what the junk are you doing? Like, well, how are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean, what am I doing? I'm doing what you're doing. He's like, no, what are you doing? I said, doing what you're doing. I'm copying and pasting. And he's like, for real? you're copying and pasting
those
that
scripts?
stuff? The scripts. Because he was like, I'm a super salesman. I can do this on my own. So he was speaking all Joe language, and I was using the scripts that spoke all languages. So darn it, I gave him my secret, and I just told him I'm copy and pasting, and that's what worked.
So we started using the scripts, and the bottom line is, you know, we just started inviting people. That's it. We don't have any internet prowess. I mean, we're old. Look at us. And
Speak for yourself.
she is older than me. I look older, but she is a grandma. Oh yeah, I guess I'm a grandfather. But you know, we learned some very valuable lessons, and we're both very competitive. We ended up going to Danny Johnson in January of 2012, 6 months into the business. And, you know, at this time we were doing what probably happens in a lot of couples. And we like to share this with people just to help couples out there. Okay. Usually you probably find a mate that you attract that somewhat has different strengths than you, right? And I think there's some comfort in doing that. So I'm the very analytical, mostly fun type. Just kidding. She's the sapphire. But we went to Danny Johnson, and if you don't know Danny Johnson, personality testing, up until this time in the business, we were super competitive, and I was talking my regular language. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? And Tina would look at me like, why are you, you know, you're accusing me of something, get away from me, I don't want to talk to you. And we were having a lot of troubles in this business together, because what we learned at Danny Johnson was when they separated a room into 4 personality types, we discovered we were both rubies. Rubies are the ones who are like a challenge, like nice things, give them a goal, they'll do anything. Emeralds are the accountants, the analytical type, like details, that's my secondary. Sapphires are the fun, don't follow the rules, don't read any of the policy and procedure manual. That's Tina. And then the pearls, who of course want to help everybody. And what happened is we ended up sitting in the same part of the room right next to each other, of course. And it was at that moment we realized that she was talking in sapphire mode and I was talking in emerald mode. So whenever I said, why, how are you doing that? What are you doing? That's natural for me. But to her,
I'm going to cut you if you ask me that again.
It sounded very accusatory. So we learned at that point to learn, I guess, how to speak with each other and how to run our businesses. Here, we both ended up getting promoted. It took us 6 months each to get to diamond, just so you know. And I think we were 1 star each. Well, I was 1 star then at 6 months, and then Tina was 1 star shortly after that. But we were so competitive that we were almost at each other's throats, okay? And the fact is, that saved us, because we now knew that she's great at this business. I'm great at this business in my own way, right? We have our own way. So what we did was just started coming together and complimenting each other for our team and what she could give to the team and what I could give to the team. So I create like the back office, the procedures, the duplicatable processes, following these stuff. Tina just loves to recognize people and do all the fun stuff, right? And if there's any team drama or anything going on or any big problems, guess who gets that? So I take care of that. So I guess we're, you know, the hammer and the chisel is how we look at it, what we bring to this business. But, you know, we both have a big desire and a big why. So we knew that we had a big vision for our life together, and we were going in the same direction. But what we didn't know is we were going about it 2 different ways and how we were talking. So, you know what? She works in her office, I work in my office, and we both do business 2 different ways, really, but we're both talking to people all the time. We only form people on Facebook, and we use Eric Worre GoPro, all right? When we started getting our own team, we started investing in industry events, and why don't you tell them a little about GoPro?
Well, I think, you know, some of the key things that we're trying to share through our story is the power of events, because Joe dragged me to the event. So the power of the invite, first of all, because you really don't have to have anything fancy, because if you heard what Joe said about his niece, it was, hey, Uncle Joe, you said this, you might like this stuff. That was pretty fancy, right? And that turned into this dynasty that changed my life. So please don't hold anyone else's destiny on your tongue. Her fearlessness in asking her Uncle Joe to give her 30 bucks basically changed our lives and the lives of 1,600 plus people. So the invite, the fearlessness in the invite, the getting people to events is massive. That is what transformed me, because when Mr. Policy and Procedure over here was slamming me with policies and procedures and read this, I was like shut down. But when he begged me to get to the event, I didn't want to go, but I got to that event and I left there saying, I don't just want to do this, I have to do it. So the power of event. And then plugging into training. So we plugged into Tommy's training. We showed up on weekly phone calls.
Never missed a call.
Never missed a call. We started going to industry events about network marketing, which is where we learned about GoPro network marketing. And that for me and our team, that's like our Bible of invites. So if you haven't read that, man, those scripts in there, every day I'm copying and pasting. And so the evolution from there, growing a team and getting a foundation, and then all of a sudden, I learned, crap, I'm a leader. And I never went into it thinking I was going to have to be a leader. So our mentor said, Tina, he quoted somebody by saying, Tina, because I was earning at that point like 20, 30 Success Club points a month. And I was like, woohoo, let's go. And I looked around and no one was following me after a few months. No one was duplicating that. And the mentor said, Tina, if you're thinking you're leading and you look behind and no one's following you, you're really just going for a walk. So you might want to read this book. And he pointed me to John Maxwell's 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. So it's just a progression. It's a growth thing, because we all start at the same place, ground zero. But you guys are super richly blessed that you have Shane ahead of you, giving you systems, practices, and policies, and all kinds of great things that you can just copy right out of the gate.
Yeah, and it's with the Eric Worre GoPro, he teaches about building relationships, and it doesn't happen overnight. He gives a 1, 3, 5, 7 year plan. First year, expect to break even. Third year, expect to make a full-time income. Fifth year, 6 figures. Seventh year, you're now an expert. Okay, I mean, thinking long term like that, and building deep in success in network marketing. He says in there a lot is all about getting a lot of people to do very simple things, and this is so important, because we really do simplify this, and I believe that you'll get what you go for. Meaning, if you invite people to challenges, you'll get challengers. If you invite people to the coach opportunity, you will get them to join the business opportunity. It's what you want to go for. But it's also very important if you have challengers, and obviously I started out with that. Convert them into coaches. If you're looking to make this a long-term business and a sustainable business income, converting those customers into coaches and showing them very simple scripts that they can duplicate. Because if I'm a super salesman, that doesn't duplicate. Things that people can learn from a third-party resource like GoPro, and the things that Shane puts in place are what duplicates. And just trust the systems because they work. There's no better proof that something works than looking at that Shane and seeing, why would I do anything different than what Shane is doing? I can learn a ton from Shane myself. But here's what I would say for new coach advice, or anybody who wants to restart this business, because you can restart at any time. You're all here, nobody's quit. I have no idea where you are in your own business, but you can make it this whatever you want in a 1 to 3 to 4 year period. And we're at 46 and 50 years old, so we're still young, right? But just have a deep why for why you're doing this business. Know what your long-term goal is. I let people know that if they're only in this to make $100 or $200 a month, all the little obstacles that come up every day are going to get in your way, and it's going to be easy to say, I'm not doing that, right? But if you make your why so big, and one of our whys is to write $100,000 check to Girls with Soul. which is an organization that helps women, young girls who have been sexually abused through fitness and wellness. That's one of our big goals, and we give thousands of dollars every year to that right now. I've served on the board for that as well and spent a lot of time with them. We also want to live on the beach. We also want to have our second home. We just bought a home here in Cleveland. We want to have a second home down in Florida. I know that I never want to go back to the corporate world again. I will do whatever it takes. And all it is simply these 3 vital behaviors every day. Literally, if you just do these simple things every day, invite 5 people, be a product of the product, show people that it works. You got to be there for them to believe in you. They're waiting for you to prove that it works. Then people start to jump aboard. Somebody just came back to me after 7 months, and another friend just signed up yesterday after 3 years of us doing this and watching this. And they're waiting for you to prove it out. And then of course, personal development is huge. I mean, you can't understate these 3 vital behaviors. I mean, personal development for us was so huge, and to give you that daily motivation, grow into these skills, do your time management, your personal goal setting.
The greatest advice that I received at the beginning was this, because the person who gave me this advice knew that I would want to do well, and that I might get frustrated if I wasn't doing well fast enough. And they knew that this business was not get rich quick overnight. It wasn't a guaranteed paycheck like I was accustomed to. But they said this. They said, Tina, plan on being here 1 year out. And I promise you, 1 year out is going to look entirely different. So just set your mind's eye that you will be here 1 year out. 1 year out will look entirely different if you do these 3 simple things day in and day out. And these things are really super simple to do. But the flip side of that is they are also equally easy to not do. So if you do them every day, things will look entirely different. And sure enough, 1 year out, I made that commitment, and in fact, bought a summit ticket 1 year in advance, and made that commitment, and sure enough, things were entirely different 1 year out.
Yeah.
I hate to have to say, but it was this guy here that gave me the advice. So he was right.
Yeah. I mean, and it's so true, because, you like, I'm a numbers guy, so I can have, maybe it's not as easy for somebody else to have that vision, but, because maybe that's where your husband's or somebody who is a numbers person, if you're not, can have that vision and show you what happens. I just knew what would happen if I had 5 people, and then if that would turn into 25 people, and then that would turn into 125 people, and then that would turn into 625 people. So I just had this vision of what was going to happen with this, and I knew I was committed to making that happen. It was very simple to do that day in and day out. So The Slight Edge, I'm sure Shane has recommended it. Jeff Olson, right, Shane? Is an extremely important book. That was the second book that I read in this business, and probably the most important to me. We want to make sure that we leave some time with questions. That's basically what we do in this business. I mean, no secrets. You see us on Facebook. That's all we know. We invite people. We talk to everybody we know at restaurants and bars, and go out, and the 5-foot rule. If you're within 5 feet, we're going to form you and try to get you over our Facebook as well. Have no fear, everyone. This works. Just make a big goal and make it happen. Shane, how was that? What would you like?
There's a reason that we connect, the 3 of us, because you said something for me and I'm wondering who else there was a light bulb, because that's how I lead with the business too. And I don't make any qualms about that. I'm proud of that. I wish I was better in other areas. But my passion is in helping people get out of their financial predicament. Of course, I love, the transformations and them pushing play and getting those text messages that they fit into their clothes. But personally, when I hear about that paycheck, that car payment, that part-time, not needing a babysitter, that's when it's, for me, incredibly personal. And that's what drives me. But you said something about, Tina, talking about how offering this to, struggling women that you can relate to. I think Guys, if we stop looking at it always tunnel vision, don't look at it as, oh, our job is to provide someone with a program and a nutritional supplement, and they're going to live healthier lives and be healthier, and they're going to lose that 20 pounds. That's all true. But you have to think personally. What is it for you? For Tina, it was that demographic, that was personal for her. That made it real. Just like for me, it's a different target. So think about that. It doesn't have to be someone that needs a transformation. It can be someone that is filing bankruptcy. Yeah, filing bankruptcy, and they need a challenge pack because that will change their life. So don't think of it as we're only looking for someone that doesn't look healthy or needs to gain weight because they're emaciated. You have to think about it, the opportunity. Why do you think there's so many sneak peeks, so many webinars? Because that's where my heart is, and I know where this business can change your life. Yes, it changes lives because people are living longer and all of that, but don't forget the other side of this, the business side. Changes people's lives. Where I thought I was going to be working until I was 65 years old, 9 to 5, that is over for me next year. That's absolutely, honestly, the words coming out of my mouth, I can't believe I'm saying that. So you have to think that way. How can that change your life? There's coaches on this call right now that can barely pay their bills, but they're still drinking their Shakeology. Why? Because they know, and I know who you are, and you're shaking your heads, and you guys know why. Because you're seeing the bigger picture. You know it's not about today. You know it's, are you going to be here 1 year from now? So hold on to that as tight as you can. And personal development is the only thing that's going to hold that grip. Honest to God. If you're not doing it, I won't see you here next year. And that's just me being real.
Yeah, and let me add to that, Shane, because being a banker and people might always think that, you know, Joe is about money and that kind of stuff, but it couldn't be further from the truth, to be honest with you, because the fact is I can sit in an office and I can make money and I'm not affecting lives, right? I rather would have the ability to change other lives with this and what that extra $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month makes. And you know what? I'm not making as much money as I was before, but I'm going to tell you something. There's no better feeling than freedom. There's no better feeling than seeing coaches come home and be able to stay with their family and do things with their family and take vacations and not be owned by somebody else. That is meaningful to me, and that's what drives me in this business. So
if you want to see the thing that I will never outdo in my lifetime, no matter how many years I am in this business, please go to my wall and scroll down and see a picture of a little baby. And that is our grandson. And he is being cared for by our daughter. He is going on hikes during the day through Salt Lake City on her backpack, smiling big. He is eating fresh tomatoes on their little balcony that they grew in a garden, and she is working this business from home. There is nothing that I personally will ever do in this business that will outdo that. That alone, if I did nothing else in this business, knowing that my daughter is in another state with no other family there, and she is raising our grandson and happy and fulfilled because she's also got something on the side herself, that's boom, done.
What a gift you've been able to give her.
That's it.
yeah, and trusted from a 46-year-old who spent 20-some working years giving my life to others and having money disappear and come and go, and being dropped to my knees and feeling like, you know, the whole world has been taken from me because that's what I thought I was meant to do. And then knowing that it's not about money, that's chasing a carrot. And the fact is you want to be happy, and there's nothing better than, you know, being at home and doing the things that you love to do, because now I have the time to actually give to people because I love to do that. Okay, so
when you're prospecting, guys, think about that. Remember, don't just target people for the fitness end. That's huge. We don't stop doing that. But you have to hear people, listen to them, hear what they're saying to you. Someone that says that they're struggling and they don't have time and they're drowning, and that's a cry for help. That's not, oh gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that, I'm thinking about you. No, that's, I have an opportunity that I need to share with you. If
Yep.
that's how you're feeling, then I have something I need you to look at.
Yep.
There's someone, we shared a call with Greg Armfield yesterday, and I don't know if this will help anyone, but someone asked us on that call, you know, because we have that 5-foot rule. So when we're in a restaurant, someone said, how do you open up that conversation? Because any waitress we've ever had, any meal we've eaten in the past 4 years is tax deductible because, of course, we're forming the waitress. And my opening statement is super simple. I'm like, wow, so I compliment. I know you're in a hurry. This is Eric Worre formula. I know you're in a hurry, but your service has been extraordinary. Is this your full-time gig? And then they just open up and they pour out their hearts. You will be amazed what you will hear by simply asking,
everybody, I am.
Is this your full-time gig? And then they tell you the story and they're like, I say, Eric Worre style, what do you like best about, or this is forming then, what do you like best about this? And they tell me, and they'll brag it up a million times over. And then the bomb question, is there anything you don't like about it? And then the real truth comes pouring out. And then I say, wow. And I might reach out and shake their hand and say, my name is Tina Gonzalez. I'm a professional recruiter. We should talk. You're on Facebook, right? And I hand them my phone, open to Facebook, and have them friend me right there. My message, my FORM, the M is message. My message is connecting with them on Facebook. And then as soon as humanly possible, will go, because I talk to so many people, I'll go into private message, and for my own self, because I have no memory, I'll be like, it was so awesome meeting you at Upper Deck Restaurant. Thank you so much. If you were really serious about learning more, I'd love to share.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and you're not trying to sell them on anything right there. You're trying to connect with them, and then you're showing them your life on Facebook. And what they see in our life on Facebook is not necessarily all workouts and all that kind of stuff. They see us at restaurants all the time. They see us paddleboarding in the afternoon. They see us, you know, with a decent house and, you know, whatever. And people get curious, like, what the hell does this couple do? They're 40 years old and they're retired. You know, that would be kind of cool. And then they see us with a lot of positive people, and they want to know more. You know, so, you know, that is what we do. And, you know, does it always work? No, of course it doesn't always work. I mean, the fact of the matter is, the worst thing that happens is you get practice out of that. You get over your fears of talking to people, and you're connecting with more people on Facebook to connect with more people. And this is a constant thing that we need to go through, is just you're marketing to your network. It's network marketing. And so the bigger you have a network, the more people you have a chance to bring this opportunity to. And, you know, quite simply, you talk to people and you do it professionally, and, you know, you get better over time. We're not even close to being experts in this business. We make mistakes every day. You know, I still vomit on people. It doesn't matter, because
I'm like, again, I did it again.
I would rather,
I did too soon.
I would rather vomit on somebody than keep it all in. Okay. Because then I have not given anybody, you know, and, you know, this isn't, you know, I've heard the saying, you can say the wrong thing to, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, and you can't say the right thing to the wrong person.
That's so true.
Uncle Joe, you like this, you might like that.
Yes, because when you meet people and you fill a void for them and you meet them at the right time, you know, they're going to accept your offer.
And that's why we just grow our network by 2 people a day, guys. So don't just think Facebook. The people around you, the people you chat with. And I was writing so fast, but I'm going to reread Eric Worre. But I know you're in a hurry. Your service has been extraordinary. Is this your full-time gig?
Yep.
Anything you don't like about it? I'm a professional recruiter. Are you on Facebook? Guys, we can all do this.
Yep.
I actually say, you're on Facebook, right?
Yeah, you're on Facebook. You make that assumptive.
You're on Facebook, right?
And by the way, whenever one talks to somebody, the other one's a wing person, and I say, hey, she's not going to tell you this, but she's one of the top people in her industry. You should connect with her.
I love that.
And you're totally a wingman when you're with your spouse. And
teach your spouse that.
that's all your spouse. If you just Just say that. That's all you got to say.
So any questions? All right, the chat's blowing up with how much they love you. But any questions? I know someone asked for scripts. You just kind of heard an amazing winged script right there when you're at a restaurant. Guys, the 5-step invitation process, I can't tell you, at least 8 months, I had it on the side of my computer, and I kept going like this. And
Yep.
I change maybe their name. I did it verbatim until it became natural. I don't have to look at it anymore. I did for 8 months. Don't recreate the wheel. Everyone's like, what do I say? It's already created in the back office, 5-step invitation process. You did it when you did your online training, and it's all right there. And if you didn't, then you didn't do the online training because it's there. GoPro and Slight Edge, if you haven't read them, put them on your list. Those should be the next 2 books. And if you've read them, it's probably been a year or so. Read them again. They're on my list now. Events, we can't say it enough. I mean, thank God for events, or Joe and Tina wouldn't be here right now. Anything else I'm missing? I think that's what I jotted down. That was amazing.
Appreciate
I'll
it.
sleep after these.
we appreciate you all so much, and honestly, you can all have this greatest level of success that you want. Make it your goal, whatever you want to accomplish. And you know, we're there to root everybody on. And thank you so much, Shane. It's been great.
We hope to see you all at the top of the mountain following Shane and at our next event, right?
Absolutely.
The cruise next year.
Have everybody around me. No fun by yourself. And they're all coming. Trust me. They're all there. They're like this close. And you all know who you are.
Amazing team. Great job, everyone.
It's just a matter of time. Just like it was for me. It just takes time. I have more time in.
It's the only difference between us and everybody else is how many invites we send out and how many days we're willing to take no for an answer and stay here doing it. That's it.
Right. And I signed up sooner than they did, but they're still here, and 78 of them were on the call. So I love you guys.
Awesome.
So, you know, awesome.
Thank you so much.
Bye, guys. Thanks, Tina. Bye, Joe.
Bye. Take care, everyone.